It's Virginia's elite solar realtor, Mr. Roller Estate himself. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of Roller Estate. If you could, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified when I drop new videos. This is the video y'all been waiting for, man. This is gonna be one in the two-part series. I don't know if it's a war going on between solar professionals and real estate professionals, but you got some real estate professionals who hate solar. You got some solar professionals who hate real estate agents. I just happen to be one of the 1% of people who are actually cool with everybody. I'm on both sides. I sell houses and I sell solar. So this video is going to be called either reasons why you should go solar or either reasons why you shouldn't go solar. A couple qualifications about myself. My name's Dean Rhodes Jr. I'm a real estate agent in the Hampton Roads area. If you don't know where Hampton Roads is, it's basically the southeastern side of the state of Virginia, that bottom southeast corner where Virginia Beach and Norfolk is. That kind of gives you a kind of better mindset of what we're talking. I've been a real estate agent since 2019, and I've also been doing solar sales since 2019. I am probably the most qualified source of information when it comes to conversations involving solar and real estate. I'm not saying I'm the best real estate agent in the world. I'm not saying I'm the best solar salesman in the world. But to date, I have sold over 70 houses for a little bit more than 20 mil in volume. And I think currently I have 185 solar installations as well. It's a lot of agents out there who say things like, hey, you know, solar is bad for you. I'm a real estate agent and I know what I'm talking about, and I pick and choose my battles, but I know it's a lot of agents who haven't sold more houses than me in this current market, but that's a different conversation. When I say things like market, I want you to understand that I'm particularly talking about the Hampton Roads market. So depending on where you're viewing this video from, your real estate market is probably going to be different than Hampton Roads. So again, try not to fully apply it to your market, but just keep in mind where I'm having this mindset from. Reasons why you should not go solar. All right, here we go. This is the one they was waiting for. I hate when people use the word free. Ain't not a goddamn thing in this world free, bro. Like, there is nothing free. They like to say things like a payment transfer and free, and hell no. Ain't nothing free, bro. It's a sizable upgrade. If you put it side by side, it's a lot of upgrades that you can do other than solar that can yield a benefit to you faster. You could do HVAC upgrades, you can do window upgrades, but again, it's not as appealing, bro. If you get new windows, unless you told people you got new windows, they're not gonna notice. But people don't see it like that. People want to keep up with the Joneses, but it's a lot of other cheaper upgrades. Solar, people have a knack on attaching to interest rates right now. Like, they think just because it's a low interest rate is good. That's not always the case. That is not always the case. Another reason why you shouldn't go solar is there's a lot of differences between, well, in the state of Virginia, you can only own a system. You can't do what is called a power purchase agreement. You can own a system, and the way you own a system is to either pay for it in cash or you can finance the system. But essentially, you still own the system. Now, there are way too many differences right now between the results of purchasing a system cash and financing a system. For example, when you get the cash price for a system, it's technically way cheaper than financing it. Because again, solar is not, they're not immune from interest rates issues. They may have low interest rates, but it's fees associated with, you know, creating these loans to finance solar. Those fees are called dealer fees. And when you finance a system, the fees associated with being able to take out a loan of that size over a long period, it's a large fee associated to it. So it's a lot of money that's not necessarily going to savings. It's not money that's not necessarily going to the installer. It's more so going to pay the company that you're borrowing the money from. That's the truth. So the best way, solar makes sense, but it also makes sense at the right price. And a lot of these prices are inflated right now. So that's another reason why solar can be bad. If you have the opportunity to pay cash, it's always going to be better. It's always going to be better. Another difference between cash and finance is when you go to sell a house. Right now in Hampton Roads, it's a lot of appraisers that really don't know how to appraise solar correctly. For example, I've heard the term, or I've heard the saying that, hey, if there's an active loan in the house, we can't apply value for the solar on the house. And to me, I have to challenge that. If I bought a pool and I bought it cash, now mind you, I know a pool isn't going to add the same amount of value I put in it when I bought it, but we can agree it's going to add value. Why does it make a difference if I paid cash or if I finance it? Because I would still get a value for that pool. Now with solar, a lot of people say if it's financed, you get no value, but if it's paid off, you get value. That doesn't make sense to me. Also, a lot of appraisers treat solar like every house has the same system. Some systems are bigger than others, some systems are smaller than others, some systems create more power than others. It should be some type of calculation or formula to determine that. And right now, we don't have one. I would love to be a part of a team aimed at trying to develop that formula. If anybody knows of anything like that, please contact me. But in Hampton Roads, Virginia, we do not have one, and we need one. So that's another reason why solar can be a tricky thing here. The sad truth is, you got a lot of houses in Hampton Roads which are smaller in size and lower price points, and they tend to have people in it who don't make a lot of money. And somebody shows up, because these people are used to massive electricity bills. These older houses typically have all electricity. They're probably not very well insulated. These people don't really have the money to maintain the energy levels in their home through upgrades. And then somebody shows up looking like the savior himself and says, hey, I'm gonna show you how to save thousands of dollars, and I'm gonna get you this. I'm gonna get the government to give you this money for an upgrade that everybody's doing. And when you don't know, again, you don't know, and you fall victim, and you get this $60,000, $70,000 system on a house that's probably only worth $200,000. Now, if life happens and you decide to sell, you have a problem, because it's really hard to transfer the loan at that price point. If somebody's looking at your house as a primary residence and it's only worth $200,000, that's probably all they're approved for. So it's hard to get them to assume your $60,000 loan and buy your $200,000 house. Now, when you start going to certain levels of real estate, like let's say we're talking about a $600,000 home and a $20,000 solar system, it's more likely they're able to take on that on. But the unfortunate truth is, those higher priced houses usually have the option of potentially having gas heat. So they might not need enough solar as another house that might be smaller but using all electricity. So those small houses with big electricity bills tend to get caught up in bad situations later when you want to go sell. And it's unfortunate. You know, we're in Hampton Roads. If you don't know already, this is a heavy market saturated with veterans and active duty military. So 3 people you have to be cautious with solar is military. You have some people who are here and they don't plan on being here for longer than 3 years. You know, as a solar salesman, if I go to a house and somebody looks at me and says, hey, you know, I really don't plan on being here for that long, that's like one red flag. Like, this conversation should not be going too much longer, especially if the house is like already not a great candidate for solar. Like, what are we talking about here? Older people. So with solar, there's a tax credit associated with solar, which is currently 30% the cost of their system price. And a lot of people deliver that very, very badly. They say things like, hey, this amount is going to be a check from the government, or it's going to be a refund or a rebate. It's none of that, bro. It's a non-refundable tax credit. That's the exact term for it. So the most important thing about that conversation is your taxable income. Some older people have, Social Security income that's untaxed. So they're not going to see that, bro, and they're going to get stuck in a bad situation. If you have people active duty military and they got deployed, that sometimes that overseas income is not taxable income. And if they have receiving BAH, which is payment for housing, that's untaxed income. So you might know they say, hey, I made this amount of money, but a lot of that money isn't taxable. So that tax credit portion doesn't work a good way sometimes. But again, that's something particular to Hampton Roads. I think the worst part about solar right now It's the fact that it's a lot of people out here selling solar who really aren't qualified to sell solar, bro. Some people can just sell stuff to make money. Some people are just good at selling stuff. The scary truth about that is it's a lot of people out here selling solar that don't have solar. A lot of people don't sell with integrity. They really don't. They just sell it. You buy it, they make their money, and they go on about their business. When you go sell your house, they don't care. That's the truth. That's the truth. I mean, that's sad. I think if there was like some type of how would I say it? Some type of qualifications somebody had to complete to sell solar, I think it'd be a very, very helpful. Like, for example, I have to get licensed to be a realtor. You should have to get a license to be solar. To sell solar. I really believe so. But yeah, solar, it's a great thing. When used correctly, man, it's a great thing. But when sold incorrectly, it could be horrible. It could be horrible, man. I've heard some horror stories. I haven't personally seen people because, of course, I sell with credibility, so I don't have that problem. I'm in a good light with mostly all of my solar customers. But I've gotten calls from people who bought solar from somebody else, and, you know, they're trying to sell the house, and it's a bad day. It's a bad day. Also, you know, in Virginia, it's one of those states where anybody could be a business owner, bro. Like, they see people getting money selling solar, and they decide they want to sell solar, and they out here selling bullshit. Like, they don't know how it works. They're trying to tell you how it works, but they don't know how it works, and they put people in bad situations. That's the truth. You know, I'm always available. I have no problem looking you in your eyes and telling you that solar is a bad thing for you. I'm kind of a straight shooter. I've done it many a times in my career. I got people who could vouch for me on that. So if you feel as though you want a professional opinion if solar is good for you or not, by all means, reach out to me. So simply put, those right there are pretty much the facts. Some opinions in there as well on why you should or should not go solar. I think as the consensus goes, it's a couple bad reasons to buy solar. Don't buy solar because you're that mad at the utility company. That's not a good enough reason. Don't buy solar because everybody else is doing it. That's not a good enough reason. The most important piece of your decision making when you decide to buy solar or not buy solar is, one, how much sunlight your house actually gets. Let's be real now. Like, if you're in the middle of the woods and you got a bunch of shade all day, don't think that solar is going to solve any problems that you have. And two, you need to know your own personal plans, okay? It's 2024. We got to start taking accountability for our actions, man. We need to have plans, and we also need to take responsibility for what we do. If somebody comes to your house and tells you an amazing story about how this is perfect for you and you decide to sign up, that is your fault. That is your fault. Now, it can either be your fault or it could be something that you chose to do that was great for you. But it's still, ultimately, you have to deal with your consequences. So don't try to blame the entire solar industry for you not thinking something all the way through. If you could, I'd like you to just watch the other video, which is going to be the competing opinions to the video you just watched. And again, in the comments, if y'all could, man, if solar has affected your life in any way, positive or negative, leave a comment. Let me know where you're from, how you see solar kind of working for you. How does it look in your area? If you want to collab on this, because I'm really, really open with information. I'm a very easy person to work with, and I love speaking on the subject. It actually, like, genuinely makes me feel great. I don't mind collabing with somebody across the country on something like this. But yeah, comment below where you're from, how solar has affected you, if it's a good story or a bad story. It's not much I can do from here, but at least, you know, I want to hear what's going on, and if there's anything I can do to help out, I'll try. But other than that, thank you for watching the video. Watch the other video that goes along with this one, and I'll see y'all on the next video. Hit that like button, that subscribe button. Don't forget about me. All right, bye.